Share ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. Hi everyone. Good evening once again.
Good evening.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for other jury to join. 2 more minutes, we'll get started with the session. Hi, good evening everyone and dear jury members. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday evening, and this is Soumya. It's a pleasure to be a host for next couple of hours. And we'll start up with a session. The Institute of Product Leadership proudly welcomes you all for the Skillathon in Agile Product Management by the cohort of Product Management Certification Program. Our participants will present their innovative solutions, and our esteemed juries will evaluate them on the key parameters. This is an event where top shortlisted participants from different cohorts present their hands-on experience and portfolio towards assurance of skill demonstrate. We'll be looking into user persona, problem statement, product vision, product solution, business model canvas, and also story map with MVP. So before we get started, I would like to thank the audience and juries for joining us on a Saturday evening. Today's session is going to be some great learning takeaway. The cohort will walk the talk of IPL mantra, that's learning by doing. The audience will not just witness it live, but also get to an vote and choose the winner. So let me begin this session by giving you an insight on what's Skillathons and why IPL emphasizes on Skillathon being the real test of skills. Skillathon is an event where performing learners demonstrate their understanding of skills, applications of the same in the context of real world product ideas as a part of learning journey to industry practitioners and other learners. Our product management certification program is globally recognized, the assurance of skills versus knowledge, focused on career transition, acceleration, and learning by doing. Today, we have three prolific juries who are industry practitioners. We have Ashwin Srinivas, sir, who is a VP of Product from Engage. Welcome, sir. Welcome to today's event. We would like to know more about you.
Hey, thanks, Soumya. Thanks, Team IPL. I'm not new to IPL. I think I've participated in some of those, skillathons and different formats in the past as well. Very excited to see how, what the cohort has to present and be here. So, and about me quickly, I'm a VP of product here at Engage, and I've been in product management for almost over 15 years. And I've been with very different kinds of predominantly startups. So I started out with InMobi, then I worked with a startup called ZeroTap, where I was heading product for them globally. And I was before this working with Paytm. I was running their ads product charter, and currently at Engage, leading the product charter as well. So I think I've been in the product space, building a bunch of ad tech and martech kind of products. So in the B2C and B2B spectrum. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
sir.
looking forward to this.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today, sir. And we have Neera Mitra, who's a VP of Product Development from Oracle. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to today's event. We would like to know more about you.
Hi, Soumya. Thank you. As Ashwin mentioned, I have been also been part of your journey in various different events, and today I'm also looking forward to hear from these young innovators what they have to offer. About me, I have 3 decades of industry experience in product development. And I have been with Oracle for a while now. Have been developed multiple products in ERP space as well as B2C commerce marketing space. And I manage a global development and product teams across for Oracle in commerce product area.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for joining us today. We have Soumya Murthy, who is a Senior Director of Product Management from Multiplier. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to today's event. We would like to know more about you.
Hey, Soumya, thank you. I think all of us are going to be saying the same thing. We've been associated with IPL for a really long time. So I'm really excited to be here today. About myself, yeah, right now I work with Multiplier, which is actually a global payroll and an EOR firm. But I have over 17 years of product management and product development experience, both in big tech as well as B2B and B2C products. So really looking forward to hearing from the folks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for joining us today. A very warm welcome, juries. Thank you for taking the time to join us as the jury of today's Skillathon. So let's get into the guidelines of today's event. As given, it will be 10 minutes presentation with 5 minutes of Q&A and feedback by the juries. Juries will cast their vote on scale of 5 to 1, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. Okay. And the scores will be announced aloud by the juries. Once the presenter is done, I'll be displaying the cure. Audience, please be ready to cast your vote to the presenter. Okay. So now let's start our presentation by team one. We have Vidya, Samartha, and Sandeep. Hi, team. Very good evening. Hi, Vidya.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, very good evening.
Hi, good
Yes.
evening. Soumya, can you let me?
Yes. So I have a timer here on my screen, so you can start presenting.
Yeah, just a second. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, your screen is visible and your time starts now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will lead the session, on this, and then Samarth and Sandeep will take it forward to the end of it. I am Vidya. We are talking about what we are calling it as Ayu Care. The simplified understanding that is, it's a document or in fact digitally managing health. That's the system we are trying to do. Now, coming to the problem, we all know that we have daily meds, we have, disability, we have specialists, and particularly in case of our adult parents, we know there is some routine happening. We know there are some lifestyle ailments there. We know there are critical problems there, but we cannot really put our finger on something definitively whenever it is needed. That's because we take a call randomly in an auto or a car and we realize that they are telling something about it, but our life really goes on and we think while they are taking care of it, okay, let it be, we will take care of it later, or we'll think about it later, and that never comes. But that becomes a problem in terms of in cases of emergencies. If suddenly something comes up and somebody is sick, we may not be able to attend them thoroughly when that is the case. So we started thinking, can we organize and give a structure to managing documentation, managing everything in our lives, even through a simple WhatsApp message sometimes, which we do regularly, but having an, additional assistant or additional information that we can use to manage our documentation
Vidya,
more.
you are not audible. Hello.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah,
Why?
now you're audible, Vidya.
Can
You
you
can
answer?
continue.
Yeah. So we can say the persona we are looking at is mostly retired parents or even much older parents in terms of users, and in terms of buyers, or the other side of the persona is adult children who are 30 to 50 with kids, family, and Lot of things going on. Can we go to the next slide? So we did our problem discovery. The due diligence was done on one-on-one interviews, about 9 or 10, and then we talked to multiple people, even in the solution validation space, just by showing mock-up whether this is a good idea, bad idea, etc. So we used all the interviews as qualitative ones. We did not really do any quantitative interviews much. Small questionnaire was there, but attentively it is listening to them. Next. What we realized was the records are fragmented for sure. There'll be one person in the family who will be taking care of it consistently. Either it is an elderly mother or a father, and the others will have no clue where they are placed. They are all paper documents kept somewhere randomly. And sometimes we lose the context very easily in case of emergencies. So in times of crisis, organizing all of them, and particularly if the person who manages the records is in crisis, is not even a situation that we can attend to. It becomes very difficult. Or it is in WhatsApp in scattered messages. Next. So what do we want it to do? Like I said, was to organize these scattered records. We never expect an emergency to come, but the day comes, then every second counts. So we wanted to actually they're going to doctors multiple instructions, they're unable to comprehend. So maybe a provision for intelligence with doctors, and avoid medication confusion, children to follow their medication, etc. Few features are there with others. Our idea was to organize everything together. We see that digital health market is big today. And it is growing bigger and bigger, mostly in the care space. We are thinking, an organized chaos is better than unorganized. So we wanted to enter here and eventually move along in the market, I would say. Next. So like I said, currently the particular priority of the app was to just make them actively manage their documentation and get help when exactly needed. Information thoroughly. That's the first priority. And then we wanted to make sure that they can record doctor visits and, have an organized understanding of them, etc. And the, prioritization happened because of the highest impact, which is we don't want any scattered records, high frequency again. And then other thing was paralysis during medical emergency. Like the most impact they were asking was in case of medical emergencies, I need to be able to react faster. So yeah, this is how we prioritize the system. Next.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Vidya. And good evening, juries. So, our core focus was very simple, like how might we help a remote child's or the adults who are sitting, 10, 15 hours away. So, how might we help them during a medical emergency in just a single screen or the app? So, that's what we are measuring. So, to measure the success, we are tracking a few key metrics. That is like our North Star is emergency response speed, followed by the leading indicator like world completion and the readiness, then adoption. Like we are making sure that parents and they are uploading and they're uploading all their medical or prescription everything at the same time. And how can we make it very easier to them, not by introducing another new app. So yeah, focusing all this. So this is our success metrics we use. But the guardrail was like we want to also make sure that they can see the uh, emergency password within 3 to 5 seconds when it's age. Yeah. So yeah, now when does this problem occurs, right? So in this picture, it's like midnight, and sometimes you get a call from the parents like explaining there is some emergency and all. So the moment you get a call, that golden hour starts with panicking, wasting time of figuring out where do I go, how do I manage, which hospital should I take, then calling random peoples or maybe the neighbors or friends. So instead of taking the actions at the right time, a lot of people are wasting their golden hours of taking the parents at the right hospital and at the right doctor. because like lack of all the knowledge and the reports they have. So yeah, so understanding all these situations, to fix this exact thing, we brainstorm into the certain solutions, and then we decided to focus only on the health record and the emergency passport. Now to next slide. Yeah, thank you. So to figure out exactly to these two features, we followed the RICE methodology. And yeah, as you can see, the health record MVP and the emergency password has the more ratings. So this help us to focus on these two things, so that we can move ahead with these two things and start our the agile things. So yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. So the next thing is, once we have prioritized our MVP, what exactly that needs to be done, we have to have epics features, and then we have to have stories so that we can have the development scheme in place. So we have created this Scrum board wherein we have everything in place, wherein you can see, as we discussed on the slides, wherein hope my screen is visible. Uh, yeah. So in here, what we are trying to do is we have divided them into 4 groups, as we said: scattered records, paralysis during emergency, doctor visit intelligence, and medication confusion. That so what is happening is, you can, these are all the stories against each and every epic. Therein you can click on it. It will give you, okay, what exactly are we trying to do? What is the feature? What epic it belongs to? What exactly is priority? How many story points it would require? In which sprint we have to do? And what exactly, as a user, what exactly do I want to do, and the acceptance criteria against this specific story, based on which, if it is gets cleared, my board will move from to do to in progress to done. So this is how we actually will keep on tracking the progress. And these are the various story points, and the various, in various sprints, how many story points are going to be incorporated. So this is the whole board that we had created. Now the roadmap is something like that. As we said, that based on the RISE methodology, we'll have that record as well as emergency passport in the first iteration. First phase is, we are looking towards a metrics as user activation. We want to have 500 plus weekly active users, and 40 plus day 7 activation sustained for 4 weeks. If it is done, then we will move to the next stage, wherein we'll look at the stickiness of DAU slash WAU says, it tells about the stickiness, right? And the retention and the cohort analysis will do. So the gate is 3000 plus weekly active users, and the ratio of DAU by WAU is 20%. Similarly, if everything is fine, the later stage, when we have to push everything like multi-parent dashboard, insurance partnerships, and other things that we want to do, it will get into the stage wherein we will want to have NPS, good NPS, as well as CSAT score. So what has happened is, for the same, we had created the mockups. After the interviews, we had created a mockup and went to the parents as well as children, showing them what exactly we have actually created. So these are like dual interfaces. One is for the child and one is for the parents. Parents, it will become easier because they don't have to say look at all the records. It is just easier for them, nothing much. But for children, they can actually look at from the parents' perspective. Okay, if for my parent, what exactly needs to be done? What exactly are
Hi,
the
Samdip.
medications?
Sorry for the interruption. You can take 30 seconds more.
Yeah, sure. So to show this, I'll just go to the UI. So in here, we'll show the UI. On the first page, you'll have 2 pages, rather 2 links for the parents and the adults. More one is for the adult child, wherein we talked about the emergency passport, wherein if you just click on the passport, it will give you all the information, whether with respect to the logistics, what is the hospitals or ambulance, or these are the information that are readily be available. Second phase comes in with respect to the ground support. You can call various people who are staying nearby, son or daughter, or let's say neighbor or society, or you can call to the doctor or ambulance. Similarly, you want to have all the medical documentation in place as well. So you'll have this parent identity, who is the parent, what are the allergies, the TPA card, and the what are the recent documents that we have. So parent, rather the doctor would have every other information that we actually talked about, right? Now, this is just about the emergency transport, but if you look at it, it actually has all the information. Like, it is capturing all the vault information. Like, if someone had, the father had a cardiology test or blood test or anything, it will actually have all the information. All the history information will be put in here. The documentation can be easily seen here. AI summaries can be clicked upon, and we can get the information about it. All the doctor's consultation, what are the specialties that they have met. Similarly, you can ask the AI, okay, if about anything that you want to, like, if what does exactly this stent mean, so it will give you an idea. Okay, so one would be able to understand the medical terminologies based on that. So this is the mockup that we had created. And yeah, so when we showed it, people actually liked it. They were actually willing to actually pay for it as well.
Sandip,
based
I'm
on
sorry for the interruption. It's time up. Can you please conclude your capstone?
Yeah, so this is all about. So I'm almost done. It was just the MVP that we wanted to show. This is the post validation that we had with our users who actually had a look at it from the children as well as from the parents' perspective. Yeah, so this is all about what we actually created. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandip. So let's get into the feedback from the juries. Ashwin, sir, your feedback for the team?
No, I think first of all, very good, concise presentation, I would say. And I think I just have a couple of questions. So do I do questions now, Soumya, or how does it work? Like,
Yes, sir, you can question them. It's a Q&A and feedback for the team.
sure, perfect. Like, yeah, I just have a couple of quick things I just wanted to understand a little bit more. One, I think I also saw that in the kind of phase to break out that you guys are showing, right? Like, so the, uh, right in the second phase is where I think you wanted to introduce AI summaries, and if you can go back to that, yeah, the next one, the prioritization piece.
Yeah.
The next slide, I guess. Yeah. So may I understand like why AI summaries and translation has like high effort and low confidence? I mean, given if you think about what's happening in the world around, I would actually argue that that's a use case. So I mean, I'm sure there is a reasoning why you would have done that, but I wanted to understand if there's a good, strong reasoning for this.
Yes, so there is one reasoning, very strong reasoning herein was what we wanted to do is with respect to the information that is getting lost from the doctor to the parent to the children. So what exactly happens is, let's say doctor is having discussion with the parent and he is getting first hand information, the parent and the doctor. But what we wanted to do in AI summaries and translation is that if a doctor can actually, being a parent, if he's sitting in front of doctor, he can actually record their voice. Based on this recording of the voice, they can actually have the summaries and everything being sent to their children. Now the problem was why we put this down is right now in India there is no law, or there is means it is very hazy with respect to recording of the voices of the doctors. It is very much there in the US market, but we were not really sure of with respect to the means your modalities of how exactly this needs to be done. So that is why we kept it at low. If the item is getting traction, if all the features, the rest of the features look good, then probably we can take this up and look at the modalities and only then we'll move forward. So that is why it is a bit lower.
I
Yeah.
can add to Sandeep saying that if we take two persona, right, the usage of AI by parents is what we are also skeptical at this point. Everything already prepared would be great. And if we are saying the parents are distant from the kids, they have emergency, then they are the ones immediately going to take part in, right? So AI is not a priority. Rather, having all the information aligned and kept in one shape is a priority. Because if they are apart and they have to do, and for kids, again, AI comes in. But the idea was to first provide the first information.
Got it. Understood. Just one more thing maybe I want to understand is like uh, maybe the metrics I kind of like skim through quickly. So on the metrics that you guys were kind of tracking for, so how do you actually kind of like devise the success criteria for the MVP that you're talking about, given that it's a very infrequent utilization episode, right? Like from a parent, so the adult children, as you call it.
Right.
So
Yeah, in here, like in the first iteration that we talked about, so that's the first problem statement that we talked about with respect to emergency passport, right? So that was our MVP. Health record is obviously until unless you have the health record vault with you, emergency passport can't be built, right? So if you look into from that perspective, for us, the North Star metric is something like if in case of emergency response, one should be able to give it to like one tap, it should be able to give it to the doctor that we showed, right? On the on the UI part, right? And the leading indicators is like if people are actually using it, then definitely my vault completeness has to be there. So this is the primary leading indicator telling me that people are actually, once they are downloading the app, they are actually completing my EP. So EP ready, they're becoming EP ready within 7 days of their sign up, right? And these profiles have blood groups and home addresses saved. Similarly, like parents are actually adopting them or not, what is the child confidence? And the last one is guardrail metrics. That is very important, that in case of an emergency, it shouldn't happen that I'm out of network area and it is not able to download anything, right? So this is the must one. So if it fails, the whole system fails. And the data breach obviously is one of the important factors that one needs to take care of. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Sandeep. I think I'm done asking questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashwin.
Thank you, sir. Neera ma'am, your questions and feedback for the team.
Okay, I think it's a very good idea by itself, but I have a lot of questions and doubts about the execution or the way it is being thought through. So first, my question is that how you are making the data collection very easy. I am not understanding the way, because when we go to a hospital, when we come back, we ourselves do not have the time to file it in different doctors' prescriptions or reports, and we are talking about digital collection. Can you tell me how are you collecting it easily from parents so that your data is high class?
I'll take this, no problem. So initially we thought we will make two apps, etc. But then we realized very quickly that parents do not want to adopt to anything more than WhatsApp for starters. So what we thought was it should be as simple as a 3 people group for a kid, parent, and us. And if a parent gets, for example, they did a examination or
We are not able to hear you.
Hello.
am I audible?
Now
Yeah,
it
Vijay.
is good. Yeah, now we lost you in the middle.
Sandeep, you can take it then. Continue.
No, you're audible for now. If you stop in
Okay.
between, I'll.
So the idea was we have to have the least friction in terms of usage of technology. So they can forward simply on WhatsApp to the kid or to us, and then we will be able to retrieve that information from WhatsApp forwards and should be able to take it. How the digitization happens. One case is when lab reports are already online, we wanted a WhatsApp forward. Second case would be we need to really think maybe having a channel partnership at hospital so that they can simply scan it there and get the data uploaded. Something similar on those lines.
And when you are suggesting the nearest hospital or the people who they can call to, all those like in a time of emergency, when you're suggesting that, how are you finding the nearest hospital that the person should go to?
So when the setup happens, the kid can actually have the parent's address added and we would have all the, and
Onboarding journey.
also from the documents that parents upload, for example, a hospital record, we would know who is their cardiologist or whatever it is. And
It might be very far, right? The actual hospital the parents goes to is very far. So 20 kilometer away, and there is an emergency that you have to go in nearest one, which should be very highly rated.
Yes.
I have gone through a similar experience myself recently, and that's why I'm asking you.
So the
decision
idea was
sounds like all Google search, talking to other friends who are in the city, all that data, to Ashwin's point, are available if you have used AI and scan through all the data, like the user inputs or user ratings of those hospitals, doctors nearby. All those things can be pre-collected and present. You do not have to do a search when somebody is in trouble. AI can be part of your entire dashboard. Whatever you are showing, the summarization of parents' information, that should be AI generated based on what data you have collected, because that gives the best possible synopsis of the data. So I felt that you pushing AI in a little bit farther away, you are compromising on your ability to give better features. That is my 2 cents.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Neera.
Okay. Thank you, team. Thank you, ma'am. Soumya, ma'am, your feedback and questions for the team.
Yeah. So great presentation, team. So a couple of thoughts and maybe questions as well. A lot of hospital chains already have something similar, like a vault. All the three features, the key features that you're talking about, are a part of several of these larger hospital chains or clinics, app. Like, how is this different? And what is the kind of, I understand the adult child and the parent personas, but where exactly is your audience? Like, whom are you really targeting? That's the first question. And the second is, have you thought about an ecosystem or an interconnected experience? Because a lot of this could already be available in another place. Uh, the parent might not even require to do anything.
Yes, I can tell you these things. If we look at apps itself,
I think, Sandeep, this is your cue, maybe.
Yeah.
I never kind of researched. And if you go into Tata 1mg, it can ask you to update the medication and you have all of it, etc. But if you look at my parent, if I take my mother goes to one doctor for niece, maybe my father goes to another doctor at another hospital, for cardio, and then another hospital for diabetes. So while all the major hospitals have, one app per it, and all the major labs actually have applications, or but these parents, when they are away, they go to a local clinic for a general consultation, they go to cardio for another doctor, they go to emergencies for another. So the way they utilize these hospitals is all scattered. They don't actually use one ecosystem to deliver all of.
Yeah, the problem is actually the fragmented records that we are actually talking about. That was the main root cause that actually listed it down in here itself. That we have the ecosystem, probably everyone is populating everything at multiple number of places. So one thing is if you can put it everything at one place, and then probably the GTM would be something like you can integrate with some of the partners, like as Vidya was saying, whether it can be MediBuddy, it can be let's say Pharmacy or anyone, right? Wherein we know that people are actually having their tests done, they actually have their history. So if you see 1mg has done a really good job, wherein what they have put in is, if you keep on testing your reports, let's say every 6 months, what it is give you, it gives you a brief insight about what has happened earlier and what has happened now, right? But it is only integrated at one place. If we have it at probably at multiple places like Pharmacy, 1mg, or for that matter any other laboratories, it will actually it will solve the problem of this fragmentation. So yeah.
I think my point was slightly different. I think in the features that you have, data ingestion and data transformation could be one of the top things versus having people go through uploading the data a second time round. That is where I was coming from. Yeah. 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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Not think out loud about this, but this is what it is.
Okay. Thank
Directly
you.
ask
Thank you,
hospitals.
ma'am. Okay. Now, audience, you can, I'll be displaying the QR. You can start voting for the team, for team one. Meanwhile, I would like to know the scores for the team. Okay. I mean, Ashwin sir, your scores for the team?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say a 3 on 5, given also the first team, so I
Okay.
have to
Okay.
calibrate. So I would
Sure.
actually go with 3. I think taking in other jury members' questions as well, I think that's where I would fit it.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Samya ma'am, your scores?
Yeah. 3.
Okay. Neela ma'am, your scores for the team?
3 out of 5.
Okay, great. Thank you. So meanwhile, audience, you can scan the QR and please cast your vote. Okay. And the results are here. Thank you, team. We have team 2, Samek and Shruti. Please start sharing your screen.
Hi, 1 second. I think Shruti is in the call.
Meanwhile, you can
I'm
start sharing
sorry.
your screen. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I
start.
wasn't able to. Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Just sharing my screen. Um,
Yeah, your
it
screen
should,
is visible and your time starts now.
Great. Thanks a lot. Hi, everybody. We are Samyak and Shruti, and we will be talking about ClariView, an AI-powered feature prioritization tool. Now, before discussing the solutions, I'd like to start with the problem space that we explored. We looked at the challenges that product managers face when deciding what should be built next. And through our research, we found that the biggest challenge wasn't generating ideas, it was making confident prioritization decisions when information is scattered across all multiple sources. And that problem space led us to ClariView. So, as part of the problem discovery, we conducted our user research to understand where product managers spent most of their effort. A consistent finding emerged: product managers spent significant time gathering and reconciling information before they can make their prioritization decisions. Customer requests, stakeholder inputs, tickets, emails, feedback existed across multiple tools, making decision making slow, complex, and difficult to justify. This highlighted a clear user problem which is worth exploring further. Now, once our problem was clear, we defined a vision to guide our product thinking. Our vision was simple: open it, see what matters, decide, and move on. The vision helped establish the desired outcome for our users: not more data, but faster and more confident decisions. So, to validate the opportunity, we interviewed 8 product managers and clustered their responses. 3 themes consistently emerged. First was signal fragmentation. Information was spread across multiple channels. Second was decision fatigue, the effort required to continuously gather and compare inputs. And third was stakeholder alignment, which was difficulty in explaining our decisions and defending our decisions. So, one insight stood out: these were not isolated issues. Fragmented information created decision fatigue, which in turn created alignment challenges. This helped us understand the underlying problem rather than focusing only on symptoms. Now, there were 2 personas that we looked into. Firstly, we have Priya Sharma. Using our interview insights, we developed this persona, and this persona helped us understand the need for visibility, clarity, and a single source of truth. And secondly, we found, or the second persona was Shailesh Kumar. This persona highlighted the importance of explainability, transparency, and decision traceability in the entire prioritization process. Now, after identifying multiple pain points, we needed a structured approach to determine which problem should be addressed first. We use the RICE framework to evaluate this. And the highest ranked problem, as we can see, is signal reconciliation drain. Now, we selected this because our analysis suggested it was the root cause for several downstream challenges. When product managers struggle to consolidate information, prioritization becomes difficult, alignment becomes harder, and then decision becomes harder to explain. So, by focusing on this root cause, we believed that we could create value across the entire decision making process rather than solving just one symptoms. So once the root cause was identified, we translated our how might we statements. This allowed us to convert our pain points into opportunity areas. And the most important question that came up was how might we consolidate signals automatically so our product managers can spend their time deciding instead of collecting data from various sources. So I'll hand it over to Samya. She'll take us through the next
Yeah,
part of
sharing my screen.
Yep.
Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes. So we generated potential solutions from the how might we statements. Some of the core solutions for our MVP included AI signal aggregation to unify fragmented feedback, explainable AI to make the prioritization transparent, and the human override and audit trials for governance. And we have the sentiment and source tags for faster scanning. Together, these transform fragmented product signals into an explainable, prioritized backlog while ensuring product managers remain in control. We compared Clariview with other similar products like Product Board, Air Focus, and many more. While these tools performed well, none of them combined explainable AI, cross-channel signal consolidation, and decision traceability in a single workflow. So our strategy is not to replace any product, but to complement the existing tools by adding an intelligent decision layer. To prioritize our MVP, we used the RISE framework supported by the insights from our user interviews. The integration wizard ranked the first because the adoption starts with seamless onboarding experience. Followed by the AI prioritization dashboard, which is, of course, our core workflow, and explainable AI and human override were prioritized next to build trust and accountability. We deliberately focused our MVP on earning user trust before introducing advanced intelligence because AI only creates value when product managers are confident enough to use it. So how does Clariview work? It starts by collecting signals from multiple sources. AI then clusters similar requests, removes duplicates, and prioritizes the feature using RISE scoring. Low confidence recommendations are flagged for review, and every recommendation includes clear reasoning and supporting evidence. The key principle is simple. It is like AI recommends and the user decides. We used our story mapping to convert our product vision into incremental delivery plan. The workflow follows the user journey from connecting data sources to prioritization, explainability, governance, and decision support. Each activity is then broken into epics, features, and user stories, allowing us to identify the realistic MVP. This ensured we build the smallest product capable of delivering value quickly. So each story was converted into backlog items with priority, story points, and measurable acceptance criteria. For example, the integration wizard is successful only if the user is able to connect to the source within few seconds, while explainability panel succeeds only if the users can understand the AI reasoning without any additional support. This makes every feature testable, measurable, and ready for sprint planning. So our roadmap is organized around customer outcomes. Phase 1 focuses on building trust by reducing prioritization time and the explainability. Phase 2 drives adoption through collaboration and customizable prioritization frameworks. And phase 3 is adaptive intelligence, where our model is continuously improving from the historical user decisions logged. So each phase progresses only after achieving measurable customer outcomes. So our recommendation is to fund the focused MVP first, validate it with a couple of design partners, and build a real customer feedback before investing in advanced AI capabilities. So we recommend, we recommend integrating it with the existing tools to reduce the adoption barriers. So ultimately, Clariview isn't replacing product managers. It empowers them to make faster, more transparent, and defensible product decisions. So coming to the prototype, this is the integration screen where we connect to different apps. So this is a wireframe of the prioritized dashboard where we can select the
Team,
features.
I'm sorry for interruption. You have 30 seconds more.
So we can either accept the ranking or override it with the proper justification. So these justifications are logged and used for improving our model performance. And we also have an option to see the rationale behind the scoring. So we can see the information from various sources and the rationale, what AI used for scoring the features. So yeah, that's it from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Okay. Soumya ma'am, your feedback and questions for the team.
Hey, thanks, Samyak and Shruti, for presenting this. My first question is this. Yes, this is very important, but say any organization which is building products, there are a lot of ways in which signals can be gathered. Why do we need a tool like this while the organization could absolutely deploy AI and do the exact same thing and build a solution out there? Why Clariview?
So initially, we basically are targeting mid-size companies where they have the data and they are struggling to keep track of it, and they have the faster buying cycles as well. So we are looking into like companies where they're struggling and they don't have, you know, they don't have the bandwidth of having their own products and tools similar. And there is, of course, we have the Chat GPT and Claude tools available, but we are providing a structured workflow where you have the prioritization and the explainability and governance in a single workflow available from our side.
Okay. How customizable is Clariview? Because different organizations have different sources of signals, which can indicate what needs to be or potentially could be prioritized. How do you look at the various sources of signals?
So initially, we are providing the prioritization using RISE because most of during the customer interviews, most of them, told that they are using the RISE prioritization for prioritizing their items. So initially, in our MVP, we provide that framework, and later in the second phase, we expand the prioritization frameworks.
No, I'm not talking about the prioritization.
Okay.
Before you get to prioritization, there are signals. That's your first.
Yeah.
Right? Signals comes from various sources.
Yeah. So
what are those sources and how customizable is it for us to get to those different sources of signals? Could be
okay.
customer call recordings, could be
Yes.
your
It is
multiple
basically
sales cycles where you have lost a deal. I'm asking about that.
okay.
That's the assumption I made when you talk about the sources of
Yes.
signals.
You're right. You're right. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. So the signals what we are collecting is basically from tools like Jira, the CSV, the Excels, what you have, the emails, the team chats, the Slack. Like we give a option to connect to those apps and retrieve the data from there, and we customize the data with customize which data to be considered for the prioritization.
Okay, got it. And what would you consider your true North Star metric to be?
It would be the time for making confident decisions. It is like from the time where the user, logs in and prioritizes and makes the decision. That would be the one of the metric. And along with that, maybe the, how it would be like what to say, the active teams which would adopt this tool. it would be like a leading revenue indicator for us.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Neera, ma'am, your questions and feedback for the team?
Sure. My team, it was a good presentation, and I think that you have thought it through, which is wonderful. Solution point of view and how AI is in play. I have two questions or feedback. One is about solution, and another is about vision. I think I agree with Soumya on the fact that the current vision is, I find it a little bit limited because people are able to find the solution. Although your solution is wonderfully thought through, but this is a little bit smaller scope, and making it a viable business option where people will buy your tool, you have to, in my opinion, you have to add a lot more to this tool, even for mid-size or small size companies, because getting the data and getting certain other, how I put it, the dimension in the data and giving it to AI and getting it to prioritize is not a very big deal. These days, anybody can do it. And the other part on the solution, so I am just giving you the feedback, just think a little bit bigger, but whatever you have thought it through, which is wonderful. Just increase the scope of the product. Second is that solution point of view, I heard you talking about different Jira and other things as signals. One of the major signals that we find is market. And you have not talked about how you are collecting data from the market for the similar competition, what analysts are saying. Those are also important input that your tool should consider in addition to whatever other traditional signals you have. And then one other thing, as a product manager, we have faced is customer meetings, emails, calls. So now we can also input those, because otherwise somebody has to do a summarization of a Zoom call or whatever that phone call that is happening. So it's better to have all those aspects incorporated in your solution. So life of a product manager becomes more easier. These are my two feedback.
Yeah, thanks, Neera, for the feedback. So we thought of that, but initially we thought it would be too many features in all together. So we thought, okay, we'll start with the basic workflow, a single workflow, and then expand it to generating reports, dashboard reports for the management or something like that. So we also got this feedback before, but yeah, we thought of like having it in the later phases. But it's a good feedback. Yeah, we'll think.
So the thing is that there is something called product vision and there is something called execution. You are getting caught in execution and smaller milestones, but unless the vision is big, even getting investment, etc., is difficult.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Soumya, ma'am, sorry, Ashwin sir, your feedback and questions for the team?
Cool. Yeah, first of all, thanks. This was a good presentation. Again, one of the most known problems for any PM, I think, and all your 8 PMs are also telling you the same story, I guess. I have similar thoughts on what Neera had just mentioned, especially, right? So for me, maybe I'll put it as a question, right? Because you guys attempted to lock in on the prioritization, right? Because that's the narrative that you stuck onto. In all sense of reality, like prioritization is a very infrequent use case. It's not like, typically it's a quarterly or depending on the industry, etc. It's never a daily kind of a use case, right? So have you thought about stickiness of your product from a PM's lens? Because if it is one of those things where, because the investment someone has to do to get all the information here, is still very high, right? It's not like you're magically making that go away. So that is still there. They have to bring all the information, but it's a very infrequent use case. Have you thought about what you will do to counter it? That might be one question or a comment that I want to make, right? Because you want your folks to come back to the product again and again. A linked question would be, have you thought about pricing for such a product? Because like you said, people already are paying for a lot of other tools, including, I think, all the AI suite that, the generic frontier models everyone is having access to. If I combine these two questions, what I see as a potential gap is the fact that it is there is no specific edge that is being created. So that's my thought. So if you have any answers, if you have that point of view, please let me know. That's
Okay,
one.
so so prioritization, we took it as a use case because we found it, like we took it from the user interviews. What we took, like they complained about how much they're spending time on this manual effort, and we wanted to add a AI edge to it because it is becoming competitive, and day by day it is like we are forced to use AI in every solutions what we have. So we thought how we can integrate it and make a AI as one of the leverage. And initially it would be this, and moving, like as we develop our product, maybe we can incorporate more of the frequent pain points what the customer faces. And about the pricing, it would be like a B2B SaaS model, the seat per license, what we have, the tier model. Like how we have seen our competitors, how they are pricing. It would be like a starter tier, and then it would be the team for the teams, and then it would be the enterprise level, and then you have the custom plans where we have the larger organization included.
Got it. Yeah. Sure. Like, I mean, I have some comments on that, but maybe I'll pass that. But one other kind of track or a thought process, especially within the prioritization, would be how do you remove bias, right? Because I think the previous team, they kind of under-indexed on the AI part, I would say, but you guys over-indexed on the AI in that sense, right? So if you are talking about like, hey, it's going to be all AI doing, etc., then your product becomes just a surface more than any intelligence, right? I think Neera also mentioned this good point that how are you bringing the unknown? There is a lot of unknown, right? For example, if you include only CSV and Slack and maybe another two sources, there is a lot more data sitting outside for that to be prioritized. And then this whole core vision of your prioritization helper or prioritization support goes for a task if you miss out on the unknowns, right? And the unknowns are typically very high. So have you thought about that? Is there a way you've thought about augmenting this prioritization?
So how we have thought is, initially we would be testing it with like something like a beta testing with a few real customers, so that we can train a model with the real data. So for now it is all dummy data what we have, but so as we get more data, we have this override where the user tells, okay, I don't agree with the AI score, so I am going to change the scoring and give the justification why I don't agree with this and why I'm updating it. So that data and the audit trials would be saved, and that data would be rich and useful for us to train our models and make it, biased as less as much as possible. We can't totally put it out because AI models hallucinate and there would be a few percentage of bias. So with this training, model training, we thought of making it as minimum as possible.
Got it. Yeah. Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Shruti.
Okay, thank you, team. Thank you, sir. So before I get into the marks, audience, please cast your vote for the team.
Soumya, are you sharing it?
Yeah, you can scan the QR and please start casting the votes. Meanwhile, I would like to take the scores from the juries. Ashwin, sir, your score for the team?
I'm going to go with the 2 for this one, 2 on 5.
2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Soumya ma'am, your scores?
I would rate it at a 2 because we've built something like this, and there's a lot of subject matter expertise as well that's required, domain expertise that's required for this code to truly scale. So,
okay. Neera ma'am, your scores for the team?
Yeah, I have scored it at 2.9. I have averaged, so you have given us the different parameters. The parameters that they scored really high are actually thought through the solution, integration with the AI, etc., story map, etc. But the actual problem statement, product vision, and persona, etc., that piece I have scored low, so they have got 2 per 9.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for that. Okay, and now it's time to see the results. Okay, team 3, Kalyani, Sagar, Mavish. You can start sharing your screen. Mavish, you're on mute.
Just allow me a moment. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Should come quickly. Visible already?
Yeah, your screen is visible. You can put it on a slideshow mode.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, your time starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are Team Telltales, and today we'll be presenting a solution to simplify pet grooming bookings across urban India. As pet ownership continues to rise, especially among young professionals, accessing reliable pet care is surprisingly difficult. Through multiple questionnaires, conducting market analysis, and agile product management practices, we identified a significant trust and convenience gap. To understand the problem, we started observing how pet parents around us actually book a grooming appointment. What looks like a simple booking turns into multiple hours of back and forth messaging just to get an appointment at your convenience. Most pet services are scattered across WhatsApp, Instagram, Google searches. There is no centralized platform where pet parents can discover a trusted healthcare provider for their pets, compare them, and book instantly. This fragmented experience creates unnecessary friction for pet parents who just want to care for their pets. Our research through multiple questionnaires revealed 3 recurring pain points. It takes them 24 hours to conveniently book a grooming appointment. It takes them 3 to 5 days to find a verified boarding, and somewhere between 30 to 15 to 30 hours to get a trusted daycare. These delays don't exist because of lack of healthcare providers for their pets. It's because trust is very difficult to establish. While the broader system includes grooming, boarding, daycare, transportation, we realize grooming represented the most frequent and immediate customer pain point. Our vision is simple: to create one trusted platform where pet parents can discover a verified provider, book the service instantly, and receive ongoing support. Our primary target are busy urban professionals in metro cities who consider their pet as families. Let's meet our persona Aditi. She's 25, a software engineer with 2 dogs. She's digitally very savvy and she knows exactly what she wants for her pet while getting them groomed. However, every appointment forces her to repeat the same grooming preferences for both her pets, coordinate bookings through multiple channels, and manage cancellations manually over WhatsApp. Her goal is super straightforward. She wants to book appointments for both her pets, make sure the preferences are safe, and easily reschedule any appointment. We focused on designing a product that remembers our users' preferences, treats our pets as family, and reduces the repetitive work and provides continuity across every appointment. Initially, we brainstormed a complete pet care ecosystem, which included multiple solutions. However, instead of trying to solve everything at once, we just evaluated which problem created the highest customer value while still remaining a feasible MVP. Rather than just launching a broad platform with multiple features, we chose to focus on the one critical problem exceptionally well before expanding into adjacent services.
So before we built anything, we validated our demand. In our customer survey, you can see nearly 75% of the respondents picked easy grooming booking as the feature they needed the most. Not a nice to have, but the top priority. When we dug a little deeper with those same respondents, they also showed classic early adopter traits: motivated, undeserved. They were ready to switch today. So this wasn't a feature that we were guessing at. It was one of our own. It was one of our own users that told us to build at first. So which led that to our how might we. That this validation led us to one how might we question: how do we make grooming booking quick, simple, and trustworthy for urban pet parents, so they can find, compare, and book a verified groomer in one place without having to start over every time? And we were tracking our success metrics two ways. Today's metrics were user adoption being above over 60%, booking time dropping from 24 hours of back and forth down to under 8 minutes. Tomorrow's metrics, once we have the user's data, search to book conversion and repeat bookings, because of course retention was where this business actually proved itself. Coming to the prioritization, we didn't prioritize anything by opinion. We scored every candidate featured on reach, impact, confidence, and effort. Easy grooming booking came out on top by a wide margin, which was 22,500, more than 4 times of our next highest, which was pet community. Pet friendly rides and verified walkers scored respectively, but landed in a little low priority. And that is why our MVP was grooming only. The data told us where to start, not our instincts. Coming to the backlog, we mapped every user story on business impact versus effort matrix. Quick wins were like verified reviews, surface filters, slot selection, ship first because they are low effort and high impact. Strategic investment, trust badges, availability, search, grooming history were bigger bets we phased in once the core loop was already in place. Everything in the bottom two quadrants, like dispute reporting, calendar sharing, will wait. This is what lets us say that our MVP scope was a little disciplined and not just a wish list. Coming to our MVP, every feature was mapped into two people: the pet parent booking and the groomer fulfilling. Discovery, booking, rescheduling, and reminders. That was our MVP, marked here with the check marks. Payments and reviews are deliberately a future iteration, not because they don't matter, but because trust has to be proven in the booking flow first. This persona paired view is how we make sure we're not just building a nice application for pet parents while leaving the groomers with a broken workflow. So what was our problem basically? Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. Go ahead, Nawas.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Kalyani and Abha. So here we have our outcome-based product roadmap, which is spread across multiple swim lanes. Now we have already discussed what the problem and the various solutions to the problem is. We are now entering into our MVP scope, which is to look at various epics and how the deliverables are going to look like. So as highlighted, this is our MVP scope. From left, you can see all the MVPs, all the epics have been laid out, and towards the right is the timeline that we are looking at. Lane 1, which is our pet parent and onboarding parent profiles lane that we are looking at. It is actually setting up of the profiles, and it is actually guaranteeing our activation goal here, which is stating that we are reducing the barrier to the first time booking options. Then lane 2, we are looking at discovering and choosing the grooming services, where we have the service catalog and we are having the profile click rate greater than 60%. This is also something that we will be validating with our solution. When we come to the solution slide deck, here features like detailed service descriptions and transparent pricing and surfacing the right groomers on the very first click is what will align with our trust and discovery goal. In the third lane, as you can see, we are only focused on the appointments flow, where we are actually managing the entire flow, which looks like we are focusing on the speed and the reviews. We are also making sure that we have the first confident first time confident bookings, and the end-to-end bookings is also under 8 minutes. So yeah, that is what we are aligning, and then also we are focused on retention more than cancellation. So here we are also making sure that the retention is the default behavior rather than rescheduling or a cancellation. So here we are also ensuring that our goal, which is retention and loyalty, is achieved. There are several outcomes also that we have mapped to each and every swim lane that we have just discussed. Most important, that is the pet parents are creating profiles. So here we are targeting it to be less than 3 minutes, and the entire end-to-end booking confirmation is what we are targeting under 8 minutes. And towards the end, we have the percentage of users who found the app actually useful is what we are setting up greater than 60%. This is something that we've also validated with our customers, and looks like a good point that we can focus on going forward. Then we have, just a second, I cannot. Yeah, so we have the stories on board as one of our tools that we use to actually design all the Epic's features and its relevant user stories. As you may see, they have been also there are several annotations that have been added, which could be our MVP2 scope or they are completely descoped. Then if we have a look at the tracking side, we also have created the sprint plans accordingly, and this also gives you a view of with the estimates of each and every story card that has been created. If I could quickly show you our mock-up in the interest of time, this is how it looks like, where we are targeting the multi-pet parent persona, which we've just discussed. So we can actually book appointments for each and every pet by remembering their pet
Hi,
preferences.
team.
And
Sorry
this
for
is the
interruption. You have 30 seconds more.
yeah. So this is how the service catalog looks like. You could just simply select add to cart. This is the groomer's profile. This is something that we are offering exclusively that is not present in the market as of the moment. And if we want, we can select Priya Sharma as of the groomer and the services. We go ahead, select the time maybe, and yeah, maybe 5. The date could be this. Yeah, and then we confirm the booking appointment. So yeah, this is a small mock-up that we have created. Now going back, I would also like to just press on the NSM metric that we have created, which is the total completed booking appointments per active per year. Now, assuming that we have approximately 50,000 active pets on the platform, and roughly in the Indian dynamics, it ranges between 1,200 per grooming session, and we have that would move from 3 appointments per pet per year to 9 appointments per year per pet per year. That would actually triple the GMV from 18 crores to 54 crores. Now, this is just an assumption. Of course, we have taken the data from the sources that have been mentioned over here. And towards the end, I would like Kalyani to conclude.
You can go to slide 25. You can go to the next slide. Yeah. So just coming back to where we started, this was the actual problem in a real WhatsApp thread. Like, do you want a booking appointment? This was before the user had called them up 4 hours ago, and then they reached out through a Google another number, 3 different phone numbers, and now the user has already given the dog a bath, and there was no point in doing all that hassle, right? So from that, a missed call, a booking that quietly falls through, no confirmation, no record. Here's the same moment in Telltales, one pet profile, one tap to book, a confirmed slot, visible booking history, same task. One took a lot of chaos and one took less than 8 minutes. So this is where we are. Thank you.
Kalyani, would you just like to press a little on
Yeah,
the...
I can. Yes, I can go on so here's what we were asking for. First, a runway, 3 to 4 months to build the MVP, plus 6 months of supply side incentives, which is our groomers, across 2 or 3 Pune micro markets, targeting our year 1 SOM of $180K GMV, scaling to $660K by 3 years. This wasn't an open-ended spend. It's tied to our rice prioritized backlog we're ready to build today. Secondly, a marketplace product advisor. Two-sided liquidity is a different discipline than a consumer product. So, and our BMC showed that groomers and hostels need active onboarding, not just a passive sign-up. And the marketplace with no verified supply nearby fails just on the first use itself. So no matter how good the demand side application looks. So we have a strong consumer product insight on this team, but we don't yet have someone who solved cold starts before. So we'd rather borrow that expertise than just guess our way through this part of the business. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
team.
this
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. Neera ma'am, your feedback for the team, feedback and questions for the team.
Hi. Yeah, it was good presentation. I have few observations and questions. You mentioned that you do not want to do payments in phase 1. That was an observation. I wanted to understand that a little bit more. And then you talked about 6 minutes or something from starting to end. Is that correct?
8 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
8 minutes that's just really long. Why? I didn't understand why you think that it is okay to give 8 minutes. I come from e-commerce product background. People do not have that patience. Like when you are doing a booking for something, you have 8 minutes to say that I want an appointment.
so can I take this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just going back to our user customer interviews. So it used to normally take around 24 hours. That includes calling the groomer, looking at the reviews, having a background check, talking to other people who've already went to that groomer. So all of this used to take a lot of time and the constant call back and forth that happens. Coming to the 8 minutes, which for according to our discussions and again the user customer interviews, 8 minutes felt like a realistic timeline, compared to 6 minutes or 2 minutes. But if you go back to our Figma, the prototype that we showed, it still does not take 8 minutes as such. But what would take more time for the user would be checking and reviewing verifying the groomer as to what are they giving, what are the services that they're giving, and checking out the reviews. So that is what realistically we went for 8 minutes.
Yeah, so but nowadays you can summarize the review. You yourself said that we are doing it so that people find a groomer, find all the reviews about them. Those used to take one day. Now that you have all the data, why can't you summarize and tell them that this is the summary? And if you want, people do not want to go through each of the thing. If you can give them a summary. So there is a very big potential of reducing this time to from 8 minutes to 1 to 2 minutes. And that's the maximum I would think people in this age will be okay to spend. That is first. And why would you not have payments at the time? It's also not very difficult to integrate with payments. So why are you pushing it away? And how the experience is going to be if you are taking payments later?
So currently, we are only focused on the cash on delivery setup, just to consider the MVP scope 1 in the interest of time that we had. That's the reason why we have not really thought of integrating the payment services as well, because if we had to include the payments, then of course the refund and the cancellation has to also be linked to it. So a little bit of more complexities. That is definitely part of the scope, but MVP2 is something that we are looking at the moment.
And for the, I am guessing that you are getting a cut from the provider, right?
So our revenue streams are divided into two. One is a subscription model, which every pet parent will have to pay in terms of months or annually. And the second is a commission, which we are going to roll on later after we have a huge pool of customers already loyal to our brand. We do not want to push away customers by just charging a premium on a service which is available at 500 on an offline channel and just add $50 as a commission and provide them at a premium. We would rather do it after they are used to our product and they've completely adapted to booking appointments on a platform instead of manually calling and booking.
Yeah, I understand. My suggestion is to think about the reason I asked about the commission is because if it is paid through your platform, then it is easy to get the commission than cash on delivery, and that is the most easiest way to, in my opinion, the revenue stream, because people will not pay a lot of money to you for this platform. Like generally, people, either you get them an ad facing solution so that you are getting the money through ads. But why will I pay X amount of money just to get a paid grooming appointment? I am not very sure about that. Think about it a little bit on your monetization.
It comes back to, like how Zomato and Swiggy, when they rolled out their platform, we were not paying a platform fee or paying like an extra amount to just get the food delivered. It was usually even when Zepto started, the delivery charges, the platform charges were zero. It was after people got dependent on the product, they found it reliable enough to trust the product and the platform. That is when platform charges for me becomes a reason which we can add to our platform.
Absolutely. So, but I'm confused. I thought you guys were saying that in the beginning, phase 1, you are relying on the platform fee, and the phase 2, you will be doing commission, is what I heard. Maybe I misheard it. Did you? How are you charging now? Like you said, you do not have payment through your platform. You are not doing commission, and you are not doing platform fee. So, what is your monetization policy?
For the first phase, it would be subscription only. where you can pay a annual subscription or a monthly subscription to get your pets onboarded on the app, complete the bookings.
And that's called platform fee, right? Is there any other thing that?
Oh no, a platform fee, which we can just charge them later, irrespective of having a subscription. Like
Oh
even
no,
if you buy Zomato Gold.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I think that the fact that they're doing subscription with you is a platform fee from my angle, and that you are charging now, which is a little bit difficult for people to give you, in my opinion. Like, why will I pay you extra money just for getting an appointment? So it's anyway. Just think about it. And user feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Soumya, ma'am, your feedback for the team.
Yeah. Hey, great presentation. I just love the way you all structured this. I have a lot of questions, but maybe start with a couple of them. The first one is a business like this, right? An app like this. There's a lot of hyper localization that is required. So from everything I heard, there are two problems here, right? The hyperlocal operational expenses are going to be like super high, and
Yeah.
there is also very low customer loyalty because there is always because you don't also do an end-to-end payments, there is the opportunity to leak. To start with, side deal leak, high churn risk. My favorite groomer left the platform, so I will not use your platform. So how are you really tackling these two? I didn't fully grasp that from your presentation, because these are really high barriers to entry, especially in a business like this.
So, if I may just add, what we thought of initially was the MVP cut would not have the payment side, right? The second MVP2 would definitely have the payment side, because then it would complete at least one cycle of the entire grooming, pet grooming process. Now, there was the second part of your question was also, I think, with regards to if a if a groomer would leave um,
No.
the application, right? Because if yeah, that could be your favorite groomer and it could leave. Yeah, there are high chances, but the entire process that we are running this application on is the trust, because our platform would ensure that we are providing the pet parents the trust factor by having a look at the groomer's profile, and if at all they're not having a view into the. No, I think you are right. I think we have to look at that point as well. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one. Yeah, think about it. The other important question for me was the true hyper localization operational cost, because the cost of operationalizing this and scaling, even in a single city, is quite high, because you're actually connecting groomers to a pet parent. The parent could be in the other end of the city, but what is the guarantee? Because you're doing a COD, what's the guarantee that the groomer goes in and but then the parent doesn't want the service? There is a lot of those operational risks. How do you truly onboard the right groomer? There's a lot of initial operational cost as well for you to truly scale. That is something I did not see, because at the heart of it, or at the surface, it feels like scheduling an appointment is the easiest problem to solve. But to be able to solve this problem, there are a lot of steps that you have to get to. Those challenges were not something I could see evidently covered, because all of that actually eats into your margins, and also how you can stay competitive in the market.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ashwin, sir, your feedback for the team.
Cool. I think a good presentation. I love the Miro board, first of all. Just calling that out. It was really nice to look at how you guys had put out a bunch of things very deeply. I have a lot of questions. I think Soumya and Meera, they've covered a good chunk of what I wanted to understand. See, first of all, I'll make some assumptions, right? One, this is the marketplace model that we are going after, just to be clear, so that we don't change that assumption that I make, right? Like, so if it's marketplace model, the typical way, I think you guys gave example of Zepto and such, right? Or so it's always you build for one side and you pay for the other. That's typically how you will end up, kind of building this out, right? Like you will build a very good experience, and there is like a strong wedge in terms of usability and so on, through which you can actually acquire one side much better compared to the other side, right? Like so here you have a fragmented pet groomer, because I'm not a pet person necessarily. I don't have pets, but I do have friends. What I know is there are groomers who are like one person shop who come home and do this. That's one end of the spectrum, all the way to like now there are showrooms and so on, right? Like so where
Yeah.
proper
Yeah.
custody. So like how do you bring them on board? What is the acquisition cost for a marketplace to basically bring them on board? Acquisition cost can come in many different dimensions, but that's like one important thing. I didn't see a lot of that thought out. I feel like that's one area I would say, if you guys have thought out, please share. But that's one area I think is very critical for a marketplace takeoff. I would
Yeah.
say, right? Like because that's the tip off that you can typically realize based on how
Demand
successful it is.
persona, right? Demand persona is something that we haven't built in this deck, but definitely it is the part of the other MVPs that we'll be planning, and also the target segment that here in the buyer persona is only one that is busy and efficiency focused. We also have various classifications like new pet parent or maybe multi-pet parent or something like that. So yeah, here we have only focused on one young professional who is busy and efficiency focused, but would still want. But the demand persona, the supply persona is something that
Supply
we
persona.
haven't really focused on. Sorry.
Got it. Yeah, that's like an arc that becomes super critical, right? And that's one. Second thing is I felt also like a little bit of insights to action mismatch of some sorts, or maybe I'll lay it out. So, again, the insight that came from you guys, right? One insight is typically that you said, hey, people don't trust new groomers, etc. So they kind of keep going back to the same set of folks in that sense, right? So if that is an insight that you guys want to hold on to, if that's a true insight, then um, it's a very reasonably high frequency but repeat activity, right? Then the value of this platform itself becomes like a very one-on-one booking relationship based platform, right? Like so, for example, the reason an urban company is predominantly because it's slightly low frequency use case, but these are places where it's never about stickiness and personal preferences beyond a point. I really don't care about the carpenter as long as there is some rating mechanism. There's a gatekeeping that is there. So that's a lens I think that becomes very critical, I would argue, in this kind of a model, right? Because if there are two insights, right? Either if people don't care, they want the service fast, is very different kind of a build out. And in this particular case, with your insight, which is essentially people stick to their own groomers, they would rather have them frequently whenever they want, then it is a booking experience improvement, right? And booking experience improvement might not necessarily have a market, I would say, that you mentioned, right? And the third thing is, I think, if I remember right, Neera, she captured really well, which is essentially, I still don't understand why payments is not a one-on-one thing, right? Like that's actually how you close the loop here. You understand whether this person took this service, because if it's a cash on delivery, the service can be there, might not be there. If the experience of someone, I say cash on delivery and I don't go for that appointment, then I lose that like that whole deal, right? And the supplier is going to go down or rank your platform down to say, hey, this platform always has people who just miss out on appointments, whatever, right? Like, so that's another important thing. So for me, I would actually peg, especially if you're talking about discovery and booking as your 101, and payment is a very integral part of booking. So that's maybe one point I want to just lay out again. These are my comments and thoughts.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your feedback. Okay, now let's get into the cure. Audience, please cast your vote for the team. Okay, meanwhile, Soumya ma'am, your scores for the team?
2.5, 2.5 on 5.
Okay. Neera ma'am, your scores?
2.1.
2.1. Okay. Ashwin sir, your scores for the team?
I'm going to go with the 2.
Thank you. Okay, and here are the results. Okay, thank you. Team 4.
Thank you.
Team 4, Sharayu,
Yeah,
Dheeraj,
Soumya.
Lakshmi,
Yeah, we are there.
yeah, Lakshmi Vasudevan. You can start sharing your screen.
Dheeraj?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope it's visible.
Yeah, your screen is visible. Yes, you can put it on slideshow mode.
Slideshow. Yeah.
Yeah, and your time starts now.
Yeah, Shari,
Thank
please.
you. Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Our team, myself, Sharayu, Shravya, Dheeraj, and Vasu, we are excited to present NutriChef. So our idea was inspired by a common challenge faced by Indian households. Today, over 100 million Indians living with chronic health conditions struggle to follow medically prescribed diets. Not because they don't know what to eat, but because consistently preparing the right meals every day is a difficult task. Families often lack the time, specialized dietary knowledge, or reliable support needed to cook medical grade meals. And existing food delivery platforms offer just convenience, but they don't provide personalized nutrition tailored to an individual's medical condition. So this is where NutriChef, our product, comes in, which connects users with trained and verified home chefs who prepare medically appropriate meals in the user's own kitchen. Our goal here is simple: to make the user follow prescribed diets effortless while improving long term health and quality of users' life. During our research, we found our primary persona, Radhika. She represents thousands of busy professionals managing early lifestyle health risk. Like many others, she understands what healthy eating looks like, but struggles to fit into her demanding routine. Our research also revealed that users like Radhika don't need another diet tracking app. There are many in the market, but they need help turning healthy intentions into daily habits.
On
So
her.
with NutriChef, the journey is simple. Users create a profile, share their medical and food preferences, and are matched with a chef trained for their dietary needs. After experiencing a free trial of about 7 days, they can continue with a subscription, making healthy eating consistent, convenient, and sustainable. That's the promise of NutriChef, is transforming medical nutrition advice into everyday action through trusted personalized cooking in our home kitchen. We'll see how the market positioning statement looks like.
Okay, thank you. So, as outlined here, NutriChef directly targets chronic disease patients in Indian cities struggling with medically prescribed diets. Now, our value proposition is delivering fresh, medically tailored meals cooked right in their homes. By connecting users with specialized chefs, hygienic chefs, we provide personalized medical grade culinary care that traditionally delivers delivery apps cannot match. Right? Now, to execute rapidly, our Agile squad directly bridges clinical science with the engineering. The product owner translates dietitian's expertise into development tasks, and our dev squad builds secure predictive AI models, and UX ensures frictionless logins. This cross-functional unit is ready to build, and here is what they are prioritizing. We are maintaining a razor sharp focus on a lean, high-value MVP, specifically personalized profiles and dietitians APIs. Under the hood, a serverless architecture keeps our baseline infrastructure cost near about zero, while immediate nutritionist feedback loop continuously train our meal models. To scale this engine, we need targeted supports. We view our sponsorship relations as strategic partnership for business alignment. We need integration support to corporate health networks and compliance pathways. Our resource side, our immediate ask is about like 2 CR to fund our technical sprint cycles alongside intros to clinical advisory groups. Yes, over to you, Vasu.
Yeah, let me take over. So we identify the user's journey and identify the features without which the user cannot complete their primary goal. So basically, it starts with the onboarding and and profiling goes through the chef discovery, then alerts and notifications. And that's how we came across the entire user story map. So Dheeraj, please go to the next slide. So we've chosen Moscow framework for the product backlog refinement. So NutriChef is actually an early stage product, and our objective was to define like a clear MVP that could be built quickly while solving the core customer problem, which is the medically diet problem that we are trying to solve here. So comparatively, Moscow is simple and it's more effective prioritization framework. So we wanted to focus on must have, should have, so which is whatever the core problem that we validated, we wanted to have in the must have, which is basically having a login, a customer profile creation where they'll give their medical conditions and their dietary restrictions, based on which we would do the chef profile matching, and then the trial booking and the payment. So that's what we had planned. Next slide, Dheeraj. So for the MVP, we wanted to, experiment first with the tier 1 city, probably trying to define meal specifics, menu and location. And one North Star metric that would actually tell us the success of the product would be from the trial to the actual subscription model. So if the conversion happened, that is something that we would look at for, as that we were able to consider this true metric as the success of the product. So that is for the core concept that we are trying to do for the MVP. Next slide, please. So for the roadmap, that is the pilot launch is to have this verified chef booking system. Later, we are planning to expand where we are trying to bring into additional cities as well. And the later part is trying to have a partnership with probably hospitals, because they also have this particular system where, in the admission of patients, they need to provide the medically prepared meals for the patients. So that and tie-ups with other corporate and insurance is something that we had in plan later. So that's on the roadmap side.
Coming back to user story design, to deliver maximum value efficiently, our development process anchors around strict agile framework, ensure high quality engineering by enforcing the inverse checklist, transforming user needs into independent testable requirements. To eliminate ambiguity, our acceptance criteria utilize Jerkin syntax like structure behavior through given, when, then scenarios. So the alignment between business logic and development is seamless. Finally, we mitigate project risks using strict definition of done and certifying every feature is peer-reviewed and fully tested and stakeholder approved before ever it reaches the user. Coming back to user story card, sample user story card. Next one. Next slide. Yeah, this is how, and we had captured ID. Priority was the priority using must have or should have, and which sprint it has been allocated, relative point estimates, and description also. Description, as I stated, it is in Jerkin syntax, and key technical factors, even key dependencies also we captured, like for first guest login, SMS is important and schema design is important, everything. So you can proceed to backlog iteration. Coming to the backlog iteration, please, Dheeraj. Yeah, these are all some sample examples of user story cards. Coming to backlog iteration, please, next. Yeah. Here is that, and we have prepared structured backlog, demonstrate our clear strategic roadmap for execution across 3 sprints. Initially, we came up with 3 sprints, which prioritize high-value epics like onboarding, chef discovery into early sprints, and using strict Moscow prioritization. Every high-level epic clearly decomposes into manageable user stories and technical tasks, ensuring complete architectural clarity by defining clear sprint cycles and managing our technical dependencies upfront, and guarantee systematic lower risk product delivery from day one. Going to sprint 1, this is our sprint 1 will look like. So this is our minimum MVP, and sprint 1 is laser focused on delivering core value, and we want to test our hypothesis to enable the user access and chef bookings and secure payment processing. To achieve this, we had come up with 10-member team to execute 40 story points across structured 3-week sprint cycle. We gradually mapped our UI, backend, and API process to tackle our highest project risk upfront, specifically focusing on SMS, gateway integrations, and robust personal identifiable information encryption, and core chef matching algorithm or something like that. Coming to stakeholder communication, Our stakeholder communication strategy ensures absolute alignment with operational governance across ecosystem. For business sponsors, we focus on strategic vision and return on investment and core health outcomes. And our product development teams, we drive alignment through rigorous backlog grooming, medical compliance, and biweekly sprint demos and retrospectives. Finally, we manage external partners and clients through transparent integration timelines and shared acquisition dashboards. This a comprehensive feedback loop guarantees compliance, speeds up delivery, and secures cross-functional buy-in at every stage. Coming to the user feedback integration to build trustfully user-centric product, we implement data-driven user feedback loop. We gather continuous insight through in-app ratings, behavioral analytics, and weekly health check-ins. This now raw data is systematically categorized and prioritized using Mascore and RISE framework for feedback integration, converted it into clear UX components. Finally, we want to tell, like Alistair Cookburn tells, we want to collaborate, deliver, and reflect and improve regularly. And for AI, and we want to use an AI and ML for a chef matching, like Hungarian method and Gale Shapley method. And even we need to later we want to come up with co-pilot called SWAT. As a end note, I want to say NutriChef is not just solving the food problem, we are solving the execution problem. We believe that healthy eating becomes effortless, better health naturally follows. With a validated user need and focused MVP and agile roadmap, we are confident that NutriChef has a potential to make meaningful impact on millions of lives. Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, team. Thanks for your presentation. Ashwin sir, your feedback for the team.
Hey, sure. Thank you. I think like one of the most persistent problem, especially in urban India, I would say. I think I just collected like some thoughts and I just want to double down on a few. Like maybe I'll start with one, right? So I understand the problem statement very well. I think that has been laid out clearly, right? Like, hey, people have medical condition and they would love to have home cooked meal where the chef understands this, right? Like so, but what I'm still missing or I see as a little bit of a gap in through the presentation is how are you solving for that particular piece, right? If that is your insight and that's what you want to double down on. So what is the one thing that the app, what is the one thing that your app would actually solve for, right? Is it more like in the matchmaking of the chef, or is it about making sure the chef understands some of these things? Because at the end of the day, there is a finite amount of chefs like that are available in the market. And again, a hyper local problem, right? So in that case, like what is your single biggest lever, right? Are you saying that, hey, we would actually be the best at finding the match? Or are you saying that, hey, we could actually improve the standard of any chef and make them, ready to be a nutri chef, so to say? Like that's the part that I think is not coming out very well. So if you can help me.
Yeah, I'll take that up. So Ashwin, we've probably got this question many times. So I would say that the one thing that we are currently competing is not any competitor or a substitute, right? So what we are competing here is people who are actually eating the home cooked food instead of what they actually have to eat. Or one more thing is people actually training their own maids or servant maids to cook according to their needs. So I think matching algorithm is what we want to bring in. We want to bring an expert chef. So we even had thought about getting them a certification or training by tying up with certain nutrition schools or something. So that would be the USP. And they would be medically trained. Probably we'll start with a particular medical condition and expand. So they would be able to cook according to those medical conditions. So that is the idea that we want to bring, and not like train a normal chef on that anybody could train their maid or thing to cook according to their dietary restrictions, right? So the expert chef would be the point here.
Got it. So if I understand this again correctly, you're saying there will be someone who will actually provide you the supply of certified chefs, and then you would do the matchmaking. That's the value addition that you're bringing to the table, correct?
Correct. That's what we actually want to do. Yeah.
Got it. Then maybe one last question before I pass on is, have you thought about like the acquisition cost for the supply here, like in terms of how expensive it is to find such partners or like the chefs to be brought into your platform? It will actually be very high, right? Because they are trained, certified by someone else, and if there is a demand for such a thing in the market already exists, like it will be very high, isn't it? We thought about this.
Yes, we thought of, yeah, go ahead, Stan.
No, Vasuji, go ahead, because we had research on certain
We thought
schools and
about that
education.
one actually. See, we did some research like IGMPI and Institute of Medical Nutrition. They are providing chefs actually, but they are on very high demand. Okay, initially
Yeah.
we want to go with certified with this thing, and later on we want to train our own gig economy into that actually by tying up with some institutes and making the demand supply to supply to match our chef demand. That is a one thing. The acquisition cost, as you said, it is very high because it's a very critical skill, and even the dietitian certificates are on very demand. Dietitians on very demand. This thing. Yes, acquisition truly is very high, but the demand is there, and we want to explore. We want to explore and come up with something actually.
Got it. And maybe one just last thing again in terms of your prioritization itself, right? Like, so I didn't see it, or maybe I missed it. Have you considered like prioritizing the intake of what is the specific thing that someone requires, like, in terms of their food preferences and condition? Are you trying to build some stuff around that? Because I think like that is something that where, I mean, I didn't see a lot of AI there, because that's where actually AI can uh, come in to help, right? Like,
Yes, sir.
especially in
Yes, sir.
terms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, in the go down actually in what is it in wireframe is there actually. Do they wireframe? Yes. Here it is there. Food preference, North Indian or South Indian. What is a diabetic condition? What is it? It's health condition, diabetic or something like cardiac or something like that. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Due to interest of time, we cannot include it much. We put it in the appendix.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I'm done asking questions.
Thank you.
Over to
Thank
you.
Thank you, sir. Soumya ma'am, your questions and feedback for the team.
Sure. Hey team, thanks a lot for presenting this a very real problem, and something that, I mean, urban India, the persona that you went with is also very real. Lifestyle diseases are really, really on a rise. Just latching on to what was discussed just a couple of minutes back. For me, there are both very high barriers. Affordability of a niche solution like this, right? Even if it is urban India, especially for the persona you were talking about, right? Like Lakshmi. She lives in a joint family, has young kids, but the food preference is now at an individual level, right? For most of India, mealtime is also, there are two aspects to it, right? The first one is mealtime itself means we cook a single meal for the entire family. That works out well. That's one. The second one is to go for a solution like this. The affordability factor, even in urban India, is huge. The costs involved in going for a solution like this is huge. Have you experimented on this? Have you experimented on this at all to determine how I mean, there is demand, but how many people would be willing to pay a premium for a service like this?
So in our user interviews, usually we did around 7 people with different conditions, diabetes, cancer, Parkinson's. So when we asked about the medical bills and the grocery amount that they are actually missing, the target audience was people are actually struggling with cooking. So compared to those costs, they were willing to pay, but obviously we'll have bias while taking these interviews. So we have also looked at certain subscription meal plans. Myself, I have subscribed, and people are ready to pay as much as like 289 per meal for one particular meal as well. So we did not arrive at a number for our particular product, but a core idea on that there are actually people who are willing to pay, but we would need to kind of get to the SOM part of it, right? SOM part of who would actually be the actual target audience, or how much would be the exact number that would be willing to pay for this. So that's why the idea was also to go with a tier 1 city in the starting, because we'd obviously play in the premium segment here.
Got it. 289 per meal is still not necessarily too high a price, especially for the supply you're looking at. Training of the kind of chefs you want, the training you have to offer, the kind of meals you have to tailor for this audience. The second one that I did want to also talk about is, have you also looked at the existing competition base itself, right? There are a lot of, like you rightly pointed out, lot of subscription options. How do you truly differentiate? Yes, there is one thing about saying that, yes, ours is more medically certified, but how do you go about proving it and how do you truly differentiate? Because a lot of these fitness brands are now into meal subscription, be it your cult, be it your food thirsies of the world, right? It already exists. So how do you look at differentiating yourself? And because they are also targeting the same premium market that you're going after.
Correct, but the personas are entirely different here. The market that we are talking about is people who are trying to get fit, lose weight, build muscle. So for them, that's how the food is personalized or tailored. But here we are looking at people who are actually trying to not worsen a particular condition, maybe severe diabetic or the sugar value that here. So probably even in the food subscription services, we do not get to see how much calories or how much mayonnaise or how much oil that they are putting actually in the food. So that is something that's always hidden. But here you have the actual chef who comes home and cooks according to the exact requirement here. So I think the persona itself is a totally different person for the food or food subscription apps. But this is totally for people with non-NCD, right? Like let's say cancer, diabetes, who are not actually trying to lose weight or get fit, but probably not worsen their organ damage or get worse. So that's the substantial difference I see here, Soumya.
I would argue it might not be that big of a difference, while on paper you might claim that the personas are vastly and widely different. But in reality, it might not necessarily be that different. And the third one is, yes, we do bring in a lot of maids, etc., into our homes. But have we also tested while it's not necessarily a very high kind of a loafer, but then also letting these trained chefs, it works both ways, right, into your kitchen, and the chef willing to go into the kitchen as well. For me, that's the other big question. Has that been something that you've tested out with a small cohort to understand, especially if I'm really certified, what is the kind of environment I'm willing to go in and cook, etc.?
Correct. Maybe Dheeraj, do you want to take this up?
That part too, I mean, we are still yet to explore from the chef point of view. But yeah, adding on to the previous point that we were discussing, see, the value proposition here is a bit different from Parafit or Food Darzi kind of platforms, right? For example, if my HbA1c is more than 6.5, if I start ordering food from Food Darzi or Parafit, I still might not be able to lower, or there is no value proposition of lowering or getting my this HbA1c on a lower side. What we are moving forward is something which is very inclined towards the medical, a very specific medical condition. It could be pre-diabetic, it could be diabetes, it could be postpartum, and a few other things, right? So moving forward, we also want to give the users ability to track their indicators in the platform itself. Right? So that is how we are different from the competition point of view. And yes, the recent point that you're mentioning, I think we have not explored it yet, and we have not done that cohort analysis with the set of chefs as of now.
Got it. Just a follow-up question. If your value proposition is lowering of a condition, if the condition is not lowered despite the tailored meals, is there a refund process that you like? It sounds like you're claiming a guarantee.
No.
So is that something?
No, we are not claiming a guarantee here. So lowering, for example, let's take the example of HbA1c again. Lowering it via food is not something that we can guarantee, because we might not know what additional things the person is eating, or maybe kind of uh, uh, having outside our zone. But from the food point of view, he is at least satisfied and kind of assured that whatever he is eating, right, that is something which is helpful for him to lower his this particular indicator and parameter. We still might have to think a little deeper into how we can position it,
Okay.
these indicators and all. But yeah, it's not a guarantee as such.
Got it. Because the value proposition through the
Right.
conversation that you folks are offering is, compared to everything else in the market, the way I'm hearing it is it's a guaranteed,
No, not
towards, worsening of the
right.
situation, maybe something to think about, because I'm hearing a
We are
disconnect.
trying to solve one aspect of what it takes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
See, actually, if
Yeah,
they
we'll move on
eat,
to the
if they
next
eat,
jury, Vasudevan.
oh,
Can
sorry.
take feedback from them. Neera ma'am, your questions and feedback for the team.
I know it is almost time for ending this session, so I will be brief. I think most of my questions have been asked by other juries, Soumya and Ashwin. My feedback is that first of all, the problem area that the team is trying to solve is wonderful, and also the way they have thought about parts of story writing, MVP timelines, and those things are wonderful. Like there is nothing about it, but the main problem lies in the how this is being conducted and how the solution is being envisioned. So product vision, product solution, etc., are of big question for me. First, that I think Ashwin mentioned this. If you are saying that I would give you a healthy option, are you trying to say that you will be producing that healthy option based on the particular person's health conditions? Your platform will do it? Or is it the responsibility of the chef? If it is just the responsibility of the chef, there are solutions today which connects chefs who comes home and delivers it. I am a mentor in Tea Hub in Telangana, and I have already mentored, and they're already in the business. There are certain chef platforms. I don't think you are trying to solve that problem. You are talking about a particular healthy eating pattern based on health conditions, etc. Right? So that means I'm thinking in the aloud here in the and sharing my feedback because I think you have to then upload your profile, upload your conditions, etc. And then based on certain aspects, some or other. There will be some nutrition database. There will be some other AI related, like a lot of data about what kind of things this person should eat and not eat. And based on that, a nutritional meal will be shared or the plan will be shared and that will be conducted. Just for conducting it, if you are calling a chef, that's different. That's low value. If you are asking them to be being a doctor and telling what to do or health expert, very different ballgame. And last piece, so I do not find business parity of what you are asking, because I know that personal chefs are 25,000 in tier 1 city. I know people will not pay that much. And I also know that the organization who had worked with Vidya Balan to, like they work with many people on the basically health specific nutrition that they provide. I spoke with them. They said exactly your model, but they provide a WhatsApp connection and a proper meal plan. You have to cook your own meal. They do not trust anybody, but they are going to be just connected with you, etc., in order for you to lose weight. See, every month is 10,000 rupees only, where a personal chef coming to your house will be 20,000 plus your platform fees, etc. So think about your business model. It's my only ask. Other than that, everything, the problem statement is right. How you are thinking about the other pieces which you have learned in this cohort is absolutely fantastic. But I am not seeing a viability of the solution somehow.
Sure, Nira, I think point taken. We'll definitely think about the viability part. Yes, it sounds all with problem statement. I understand it's solving an issue, but with this operational things and other things,
Yeah.
we definitely need to give it a think on how this will be. Yeah, but point taken.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, team. Thank you, juries, for your feedback and questions. So by this, we are at the end of the event. So yeah. So now let's please scan the QR and cast a vote for the team. Meanwhile, Neera ma'am, your scores for the team.
2.9. I was just entering in all your cells. Yeah, it became 2.9 in average.
2.9. Okay. Ashwin sir, your scores?
Mine would be 2.4.
Okay, thank you. Samya ma'am, your scores for the team?
2.5.
2.5. Okay, thank you. Audience, please vote for the team. And yeah, here are the results. Okay. Thank you, presenters and jury members. Before we announce the winner of for the Skillathon, I request jury members to accept our certificate of appreciation and share their experience on today's Skillathon. Ashwin sir, your experience on today's event?
Well, thank you first of all for the invite, and I think I had a great time the last 2 hours. I would say I think the one thing that stood out for me is the amount of detailing that every team member have picked on. I would say, and also the fact that they've gone to the depths of trying to think about the same problem statement from different lenses and have most of the it's very easy to always ask cross questions like what I just did, reasonably easy to do that, but I think the amount of time the teams have put in and also come up with a lot of structure, I think that is fantastic. If I have to also be candid and share like one large feedback for the team, maybe is to say that things are moving at a very different pace. As a practitioner, I can tell you in terms of how people are planning and executing. So maybe, in the next Skillathon, I would love to see the next cohort add a lot more of those layers. That's my one honest takeaway and give back to the team. But phenomenal work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Neera ma'am, your experience of today's event?
Yeah, I also felt this was, thank you for inviting me. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am, your voice is audible. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I felt that the entire session was very well organized. People thought through the problem statements. Obviously, they don't have the industry experience as much to answer everything, but it was a very well done session. And this was about agile product management. We all come from viability of products and this problem statement doesn't make sense. Unless that goes to our head, we do not go to the other parts of what they have spent time on, how to write stories, how to make the agile product management viable. So that part I felt everybody did very well, irrespective of the problem statement or how they have tried to solve the problem. So hats off to the cohort to get whatever they learned, they explained very well. And now obviously they have to learn how to have a viable product and be rich in the industry. So that's congratulations to them to come to this point, and best wishes for the next phase.
Thank you, ma'am. It means a lot. Okay, Samya ma'am, your certificate of appreciation, and please share a few words on your experience of today's event.
Thanks again. Thanks a lot for the invite. I really enjoyed the session. Every time I participate in events like this, there is a Korean show. One dialogue is Ajuma Pansayo. It means, oh my God, you're now acting like a judge, are you? Because it's very easy to sit and pass judgment and statements. Hey, this doesn't work. That doesn't work. Uh, but when you're not really a part of the journey that each team has been on. So every time I ask a question, I hesitate because the intent is to understand and not really say, hey, this is not right. I do feel the quality in terms of how the teams are thinking through from concept all the way up till how they will take it to market has absolutely improved thanks to AI and how they have leveraged AI. One opportunity I do see is the interviews or the how we are gathering insights, right? The base is really small, even for qualitative, especially the way now we do things in the market in reality has shifted from a smaller cohort qualitative to a study to an option of doing it on a much wider scale. That's something the teams could really benefit from, because a lot of simulations can be run and it gives you better results, so you come better prepared with how you can think of your problem statements and how to take it to market. That's the only feedback. I say this even to my own teams. If we continue to think the way we did a couple of years back, there's no point in having so many advancements that are already in place right now.
Thank
But
you,
yeah,
ma'am.
thanks
Thanks
a
for your
lot for
feedback.
the
Thank you.
feedback.
Yeah. So, yeah, we appreciate your time and presence on this platform. Your insightful feedback and questions will encourage the students to look into the product with more clarity. And now it's time to declare the winner of Skillathon. Audience, any guess? Okay. So the winner is Team 1, Vidya, Samrat, and Sandip. Congratulations, team. Congratulations once again. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. So, thanks, juries, for this. I actually learned a lot. So what happens is whenever you present something like this, so you get an idea of what exactly are we missing. So what happens is you learn from the lenses of people who have been in industry for like, let's say 15, 20 years, right? So learning from Ashwin, Soumya, Neera, it was like an amazing experience. We didn't thought of the way they were telling us about the solutions or what exactly we need to do. So I am really happy. The obviously means winning something is feels really good. And I'm talking on behalf of Samarth and Vidya as well, because I have asked Samarth to work on the GTM PPT. He has to present it tomorrow, and Vidya is traveling tomorrow, so she has to back up. So thanks a lot, Jury. Thanks a lot.
Very cool. Congrats, guys.
Thank you, Shah. Yeah.
Thank you all. And once again, thank you, juries and presenters, for joining the today's event. And it was a pleasure of hosting the event today. And yeah, we'll get catched up for the other event by next week. Unless, thank you. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.